Japan has been officially confirmed for Age of Empires 4. Just a week ago, I released my Civilization concept video, and there were a lot of people that were upset that FitzBro was about to predict the future, and boy did we. Look at this beautiful image of the Japanese in an AoE4 setting. We've got lots of units to look at, lots of every corner of this map. Of course, we're going to dissect. But I've got my friends over here at Reddit that made a great little post, which really goes through the events quite well. So I'm going to be using that to supplement this video. And make sure you guys are subscribed to my channel so that you get all of my update news on the new civilizations for AoE4. I've got some Xbox guides going up, and you know I'll be making some beginner guides for these new civilizations when they ultimately launch. Let's get into this. So, how was this confirmed? Well, they sent out an Age Insider email, and if you're signed up for those emails, you would have seen at the bottom of the email, they tried to put in an image, which would have been this. Now, I already said from the other day from the Steam screenshot that it was pretty obvious it was Japan, but the image didn't render, or however they inserted it, and it says AoE4 expansion Japanese. So this all but confirms what we pretty much already knew was going to be happening in this expansion for the Sultan's Ascend, coming TBD. And let's take a look at a few things that we're able to see and what some of the fine folks over at Reddit were able to point out. So there it is. You can check it out in its entirety, of course, either on Reddit, or I will post this in my Discord. You can check it there, link down in the description. And a few things that were pointed out. So we've got a Japanese unique cavalry unit, so you can see it there. I would assume it would get some kind of, specialties, but it could be just a horseman knight, standard stats like you might expect. You see these two units here, right? You see these horses down front, right? And it looks like the unarmored horse, I can imagine, would be the horseman. And then on the top side, you've got, it looks like more armored. So you would think that would be their castle age cav unit, but you never know. Sometimes they add these into these second ages. There you have it. The ones in red, however, they're unique, a cav unit, completely different cav, because Japanese also have horsemen. I think this will be fast-moving, low health, high attack. So that's just speculation. But there we go. 2 cav units to be expected. By the way, you see these. These are clearly the shrines, and if it's anything like they were in AoE3, you built these shrines in AoE3 and they passively generated resources. Now, I, for one, find passively generating resources for any civ to be a little bit overpowered, because it really leans towards sitting in your base, doing nothing, and then just being the best in the game. So we'll see how these actually end up working out. The shrines in AoE3 actually attract nearby deer. You're unable to hunt the deer, and only are able to gather berries. So I would imagine they would get a berry gathering bonus, or maybe a bonus for these rice paddies, which you can see they are gathering resources from. There we have a Japanese horseman. Oh, a very unique point out. Now, one thing I will caution as we're speculating what units these might be, I remember from when they released the Ottomans that there were images of, it would look like a Sipahi with a bow. And I was like, oh, they've got some kind of bow rider units, right? And then that ended up not coming to be. So just realize these could be concepts or maybe mocks of things. So we see like 1, 2, 3 cav units. That would be kind of extraordinary. For them to have 3 different melee cav units. Could it be possible? Sure, but don't get too excited when you see this, because it could be possible that it's just, this is another horseman skin or something like that, maybe in a different age, etc. Okay, and we have some unique foot units for the Japanese. You can see here a few of the different ones. You can see they look like samurai, right? And they've got their sword, but then you've also the katana. You've also have, it looks like some kind of lancer, right? And this makes me wonder, is like, are these 2 different units? Is this some kind of specialist infantry unit? Let's see what they said here on Reddit. The ones in red are wielding bows, and the ones in blue are wielding katanas. And this also leads me back to my conversation about when the Sipahi came with Ottomans. I distinctly remember the Sipahi had bows and they ended up not actually. So who knows what's going to be, but what you can tell, there are a few different unique infantry units, not going to be super surprising yet. If anyone remembers, samurais in AoE2 are supposed to have this feature where they can switch between 2 weapons, and they couldn't do it. Maybe we might get this in AoE4. That would be pretty cool to have switching between weapons. I think we've seen it a ton. Look, they talk about scam, but I think the Ottoman spies will be able to switch between melee and ranged. So yeah, That's definitely a question. Let me know down in the comments below what you think, what you make about all this. Are they going to be able to switch between their melee weapons and bows? That would be quite interesting indeed. And then up here, we've got some Japanese archers that are unique up here on the wall. And I did see one person on Reddit claim that they're reusing the walls again. If you remember when we got the Malians, we got these really cool looking walls, and that this architecture really isn't on point for what would have been reflected for the Japanese civilization. It still looks cool, you can see how it looks, but it would have been nice if they added a unique looking wall in. It just adds more depth to the game. But I know it's just another thing they would have had to work on. But just a little call out I did see in another Reddit post. Okay, so now down here, look at this. We've got, they're wielding lances. Check that out. A bit weird. Maybe these are the spearmen for the Japanese. Some Chad spearmen, indeed, they would be. But we can see some foot units wielding Naginata, ones in blue. So you can see that all the way up here. And maybe this, a guess that these are the militia for the Rus. I mean, I think that's a bit of a reach. But certainly you got another image of their lances there for some soldiers. And then we look down here, Japanese landmarks. So you can see one landmark here. Of course, there's several of these buildings that you just assume they're either some of the landmarks, and it's hard to really know what they're going to do. You know, we could take our guesses at some of these different buildings. Now you can see multiple of these. I don't know if these are the town centers. Yeah, the TCs in blue and monasteries in red. That could be. I think these are definitely the shrines, as we mentioned before. Japanese keeps. Yeah, those are definitely look like some keeps there. So I think this could be just another angle possibly, but they're thinking maybe that one's a keep landmark. But here's something what the Japanese keeps might look like. And then we have a Japanese university. Yeah, that definitely looks like the university as you would expect there. Two markets right next to each other, because you guys know that's the best way to build markets. So those are just speculations. And once again, here is that full image. Now I wanted to point out, take a look at this. They're farming their rice, and look at, you see this. You'd think like, man, this sure looks like a granary type, or this really looks like some kind of unique economic building, right? Because it doesn't quite look like a house. Now, maybe they're the house. Maybe I would imagine the shrines probably count as housing population, most likely. I don't know if these are houses in the background here. Hard to tell. I don't think so. So like, could they be population? I think they might be some kind of economic building similar to the granary for the Chinese. You see them, they've built around this. I don't know if this is built as a block or as individual buildings is what I wonder. I bet it's maybe one big block, probably works just like the granary. Now, one interesting thing in Age of Empires 3, you can actually switch rice paddies between food and gold. So I almost wonder if they would add a mechanic like that in for either the shrines or these rice paddies. I don't love passive golden base personally, but could be something they might certainly include. And look at this beautiful cherry blossom. So I'd imagine we would get a new biome that would include this. Of course. And then I also wanted to bring you guys over to the Steam page. If you haven't been over here already, of course, this is where we got our first look at some of these images. There you go. That just looks like a zoomed in version of what we were just looking at. You can see this is our first reveal. Of course, we've got some images that we're still trying to decipher to decide what will the other civilizations be. Of course, we've got some cool looking skins here for the HRE and other stuff to decipher. Of course, we've got the Sultan's Ascend expansion coming to AoE4 soon, TM, as you see right there. We don't know when, but in the meantime, I've been playing a little Age of Empires 4 on Xbox. They just sent me this awesome Xbox yesterday in the mail, and I've been loving it. Check out my YouTube video on it. And with that, guys, I'm gonna leave you. Let me know down in the comments what you think is coming for the Japanese in Age of Empires 4. Hopefully you're excited about the civilization. And for those that were naysayers when I released the Civ concept last week, well, I told you so. Thanks for watching. Like, thumbs up the video, leave me a comment, it helps me out, and I'll see you guys in the next one.